everyone, welcome to the course on measurements and instrumentation. In this session, I am discussing the topic induction type energy meter. First move on to single phase induction type energy meter. The meter which is used for measuring the energy utilized by the electric load is known as energy meter. The energy utilized by the electric load is expressed in kilowatt hour and the meter is also called single phase induction type watt hour meter. The major part of the instruments are a driving system, moving system, braking system and registering system. A driving system consists of two electromagnet. One is called upper electromagnet and the second one is lower electromagnet. The pressure coil is wound on the upper electromagnet and the coil is connected across the load and carries a current proportional to load voltage. And in lower electromagnet, the current coil is wound over the magnet and it is connected in series with the load and carries load current. When current flows through both pressure coil and current coil, it produces fluxes. The central limb of the electromagnet has a copper band. These bands are adjustable. The main function of copper band is to align the flux produced by shunt magnet in such a way that it is exactly perpendicular to supply voltage. Next is moving system. The moving system is the aluminium disc mounted on the shaft of the alloy. The disc is placed in between the two electromagnet and when current flows through the pressure coil and current coil, it produces fluxes and these two fluxes interact with each other and an eddy current is developed in the disc. The eddy current induced in the disc because of change in magnetic field and this eddy current produces a force on the disc. When the device consumes power, the aluminium disc starts rotating and after some number of rotation, the disc displays the unit used by the load. The number of rotations of the disc is counted at a particular interval of time. The disc measured the power consumption in kilowatt hour. Next is braking system. The permanent magnet is used for reducing the rotation of aluminium disc. When the disc cut the magnetic flux produced by the permanent magnet, it produces a braking torque. This braking torque opposes the movement of the disc, thus reduces the speed of disc. The permanent magnet is adjustable due to which the braking torque is also adjusted by shifting the magnet to other radial position. Next is registering system. The main function of registering or counting mechanism is to record the number of rotations of aluminium disc. And rotation of disc is directly proportional to energy consumed by the load in kilowatt hour. The rotation of the disc is transmitted to the pointers of different dial for recording the different readings. The readings in kWh is obtained by multiplying the number of rotations of the disc with meter constant. Next, move on to working of the energy meter. The energy meter has the aluminium disc whose rotation determines the power consumption of the load and the disc is placed between the air gap of series and shunt magnet. The shunt magnet has a pressure coil and series magnet has current coil. And the pressure coil creates a magnetic field because of the supply voltage and current coil produces it because of current. The field produced by voltage coil is lagging by 90 degree on the magnetic field of current coil, because of which eddy current is induced in the disc. Here disc is placed in between this upper shunt magnet and series magnet, and due to the interaction between flux produced in shunt magnet and series magnet, there is an eddy current and hence force on the disc and starts rotating when it is connected to a load. The interaction of eddy current and the magnetic field cause torque, and which exert a force on the disc and thus the disc rotating. The force on the disc is proportional to current and voltage of the coil, and the permanent magnet controls their rotation. The permanent magnet opposes the movement of the disc and equalizes it on the power consumption. Next is theory of energy meter. See, this is our shunt magnet and this is series magnet. IP is the current flowing through pressure coil, and due to this current, it produces a flux phi p on the shunt magnet. And when load current flows through the series magnet through the current coil, it produces a flux phi s. The flux phi p is having two components. The major portion of flux phi p1 passes through the side gap because of low reluctance, and the flux phi p2 goes through the disc and induces the driving torque which rotates the aluminum disc. And the flux phi p is proportional to applied voltage and is lagged by an angle 90 degree. The flux is alternating and hence induces an eddy current IP in the disc. Due to the flux in the shunt magnet phi p, there is an eddy current set up in this coil. This eddy current is represented by IEP. And similarly, due to the flux phi s, there is an eddy current IES in the current coil. And the eddy current IEP interact with flux phi s, and eddy current developed in the current coil interact with flux in the pressure coil and produce a torque. And these two torques are opposite in direction, and the net torque is the difference between the two. See the phasor diagram. Here V is our supply voltage, I is the load current. The load current flows through the series magnet, hence produce a flux in the series magnet. So it is in phase with current, that is represented by phi s, and angle between voltage and current is phi. And the current flowing through pressure coil is IP. The current is lag behind the supply voltage by an angle 90 degree, and due to the current in the pressure coil, it produces a flux phi p, and phi p1 is the component of flux phi p. And EEP is eddy EMF induced by flux phi p, and IEP is eddy current due to flux phi p in the pressure coil. EEV is eddy EMF due to flux phi s. Sorry, it is not current, actually it is EMF. IES is eddy current due to flux phi s in the series magnet. Here, the angle between induced EMF in the series magnet and induced current or eddy current in the series magnet is alpha. Similarly, induced EMF in the pressure coil and induced eddy current in the pressure coil is alpha. Angle between EEP and IEP is alpha. The deflecting torque produced on the meter TD is proportional to phi 1 phi 2 F by Z sin beta cos alpha. Phi1 and Phi2 are flux produced in pressure coil and flux produced in current coil respectively. And beta is angle between phi P and phi S. It is actually delta minus phi. Delta is angle between voltage and pressure coil current. Phi is the voltage angle between voltage and load current. So the angle between phi S and phi P is delta minus phi. So the deflecting torque TD is equal to K1 phi1 phi2 F by Z sine delta minus phi cos alpha. The flux developed in the pressure coil is proportional to supply voltage and flux produced in the series magnet is proportional to load current. So deflecting torque can be written as a constant K2 into VI F by Z sine delta minus phi cos alpha. Here F, Z and alpha are constant. So deflecting torque can be written as K3 VI sine delta minus phi. If N is steady state speed or steady speed, the braking torque equal to TB equal to K4 into N. The braking torque is developed in the meter due to rotation of disc. So braking torque is proportional to speed of rotation of disc, TB equal to K4 into N. And at final steady state position, deflecting torque becomes equal to braking torque. So K4N becomes equal to K3 VI sine delta minus phi. So N equal to KVI sine delta minus phi. And when the value of delta equal to 90 degree, the equation becomes KVI sine 90 minus phi. Sine 90 minus phi is cos phi and VI cos phi is our power. So N is equal to a constant K into power. Speed of rotation is directly proportional to power. And the total number of revolution is equal to integral N dt, that is equal to K into integral VI sine delta minus phi, and it is equal to K into integral VI cos phi. It is K integral power dt. Integral of power is energy. So total number of revolution is proportional to K into energy, or the meter represent energy consumption. Next move on to errors and their adjustment in energy meter. The different types of errors in an energy meter are phase error, speed error, creeping error, friction compensation or friction error, temperature error. First one is phase error. It is necessary that the energy meter should give correct reading in all power factor, which is possible only when the field set up by the shunt magnet lags behind the applied voltage by 90 degree. But the flux due to shunt magnet does not lag behind the applied voltage exactly by 90 degree because of winding resistance and iron losses. The flux in the shunt magnet can be made to lag behind the supply voltage by exactly 90 by adjusting the position of shading band placed around the lower part of control limb of shunt magnet. And second type of error is speed error. Sometimes the speed of meter is either fast or sometimes it will be slow, resulting in the wrong reading of energy consumption. An error in the speed of this meter when tested on non-inductive load can be eliminated by correctly adjusting the position of brake magnet. Movement of brake magnet in the direction of spindle will reduce the braking torque and vice versa. We can able to adjust the position of brake magnet, thereby control the opposition on the movement of disc. And next type of error is creeping error. Sometimes the disc of the energy meter make slow but continuous rotation at no load, when the potential coil is excited but with no current flowing in the load. This is called creeping. In order to prevent this creeping on no load, two holes or slots are drilled in the disc on opposite sides of the spindle. This causes sufficient distortion of the field, and the result is that the disc tends to remain stationary when one of the holes comes under one of the shunt magnet. Next type of error is friction error. Friction forces at the rotor bearings and in the counting mechanism cause noticeable error, especially at light loads. An additional amount of driving torque is required to compensate this error. For that, two shading bands on the limbs are adjusted to create this extra torque. Next is error due to temperature. Energy meters are almost inherently free from error due to temperature variation. Temperature affects both driving and braking torque equally and so produce negligible error. Thank you.